Happening right now, we're expecting an update from Governor Ron DeSantis any minute on all of the updates related to the coronavirus. We'll get to the governor as soon as he starts speaking.
And now at 5, polls are open across Florida and time is winding down for you to make your vote count. We've got that countdown clock in the lower right-hand corner of your screen with about 2 hours away until the first polls start closing. Thank you for joining us. Today is Florida's primary. And instead of being focused on our country's next leader, though, many of us are just trying to get through the next couple of weeks. Yeah, coronavirus has impacted our communities in ways that we did not think could happen. And tonight we will bring you a look at what's happening in the presidential preference primary. But first, we want to give you the facts on how coronavirus is affecting your community. We now have 4 confirmed cases of coronavirus in Lowndes County, Georgia. At least 2 cases are connected to the Moody Air Force Base. The third, a Southwest Georgia Medical Center employee. Very few details have been released about this 4th case, though. The Department of Health says it's investigating. And in Florida, while we do not have any confirmed coronavirus cases in the Big Bend, a man and a woman from Gadsden and Leon counties tested positive. Right now, both of those people are being isolated outside of Florida. They recently came back from a trip in Japan. And now we're preparing for major effects to our local businesses.
Bars and nightclubs, effective 5 p.m. today, they're going to be suspended for 30 days in the state of Florida. I think you've seen a lot of things about people congregating at some of these things. We view that as something that could be problematic for spreading the virus.
Along with suspending bars and clubs, Governor DeSantis is telling all Florida universities to move their classes online through the end of the year. Tonight, our team coverage is breaking down what that means for jobs and education across the Big Bend, along with a look at what's happening at the polls. We start with Chantel Navarro, who spent the day at local bars scrambling to figure out how the next 30 days will be. Chantel.
That's right. Places like Palace Saloon say they don't know what they're going to do. Clock just struck 5, and that means it's time to close your doors for the next 30 days. For people who grew up here or students who now call Tallahassee home, Palace Saloon is a place to hang out and play pool. Starting Tuesday evening, that's no longer the case. Governor Ron DeSantis suspended state nightclubs and bars for 30 days in hopes of stopping the spread of coronavirus.
Bunker down and finish reading Game of Thrones.
Keith Hodge is a manager and bartender here. He says with a 30-day restriction, he has a lot to figure out fast.
I'm worried about paying rent, honestly.
I want my mom and dad to stay safe, but at the other time, I want my family to live.
Laura Lowe has owned the bar for 12 years now, so her employees are her family too. She says she gets why Governor DeSantis imposed the restrictions on gathering places, but it still hurts.
I have a mother who has had cancer for 5 years and has just finished her last round of chemo. And I have a father who has heart conditions, so I understand with the elderly community, it's a big deal. My staff is my family as well, and they count on money from the bar to help them.
All the sides with no shrimp or nothing like that.
Just a block away, Great Plates faces its own concerns, with Governor DeSantis also ordering all restaurants to cut capacity by 50% to help with social distancing. Now, businesses are hoping the community still comes out to support them.
Smallest visit to a small business will help.
To support your local businesses.
Now again, there will be help for those small businesses. Governor DeSantis announced a bridge loan that will be available for owners of small businesses who do need that help. You can find that information on WTXL.tv. But another part of those businesses being impacted is universities and the call to have them online. ABC 27's Christian Thomas joins us live from FAMU, where students will be impacted. Christian?
Both FSU and FAMU have canceled all in-person classes for the rest of the spring semester. All classes will now only be online. This is after the Board of Governors recommended students not return for face-to-face classes earlier today. Last week, the universities had already decided to suspend in-person classes through the end of March. Keeping students off campus will also impact graduations. President Larry Robinson says this year things will be done differently.
So we're going to continue instruction. And we're looking at an alternative mode for offering commencement. We will not do it in the traditional mode this year. But for those students who maintain their academic progress through the distance learning mechanism and remote mechanism that we're developing, then they'll be just fine.
Students who live on campus will be allowed to come and get their personal items. There's no specific date when students must be off campus. Now, for students who have no other housing options, residence halls and dining services will be available to them. Both FAMU and FSU will provide more information on this transition later on this week. Live in Tallahassee, Christian Thomas, ABC 27.
Thank you, Christian. Now take a look at this. Folks out enjoying the sun, a time when health officials say people should be practicing social distancing. It's one of the reasons why the governor is tightening up on people on the beach. Today, DeSantis said that beach gatherings should be limited to a group of no more than 10 people at a time.
Star Metro is changing its policies to help stop the spread of coronavirus. Starting this Thursday, Star Metro is ending their services at 8 p.m. All night services will be suspended until further notice. Start times remain the same Saturday and Sunday. Daytime bus schedules will remain the same as well. The bus line will only allow 15 passengers at a time on the buses in order to practice safe social distancing. An update from Leon County Schools on potential student return and sites for food for those in need. LCS says they have a plan in place for if students can return on March 30th, which is their tentative return date. They also have a plan if the date for return is pushed back. The specifics will be released on Thursday after review from the school board. Superintendent Rocky Hanna says he's not banking on students returning after break.
I'm not very optimistic that our schools are going to return on March 30th, but we're going to be prepared either way. We have a plan in place to return to school, but we're going to have a plan in place should that not happen after next week.
The district also added another food location at Pineview Elementary School. That makes 15 locations around the county serving students.
Time now to get your first look outside this evening.